this is it. Like, this isn't a dress rehearsal. A lot of people pass in their 70s. Lots of people pass in their 80s, 90s, or 100s. But doing the math, no age shaming, when you're in your 50s, you're looking at like possibly 20 good years. I think Kyle is just like, it's the joke's over. I don't care about anyone or anything. I just want to be happy. And that is truly, truly the meaning of life, because you can't lose friends. Real friends, you don't lose. You lose all this fake shit. So I like this episode because it does make you understand why Kyle is done with Mauricio completely, why she is probably done with Kathy. I mean, it's her sister, but she's done with her. It just makes you understand Kyle more. It made me understand her more.
Well, there's a lot about Kyle this week. You know, the other thing is I guess it was the preview, right? They're in the car, the preview for Homeless Not Toothless. They're in the car and Mo's like, "Oh, how was that like event you were at?" And she's like, "You know, you mean for my dear friend that you knew?" I mean, you know, it's so, I guess I'm wondering almost why. I know they have, you know, their girls together, but it's almost interesting why they keeping up this facade. Like, you know, Kyle had her birthday down in Mexico with her girlfriends. Mauricio wasn't there. Morgan Wade was. I loved them standing on the beach. Morgan Wade is in like a t-shirt and some cutoff shorts, and you know, Kyle's in this skimpy bikini. I just love the dichotomy of the two of them. And, you know, Mo's not there. He wishes her this happy birthday. You know, he's overly like, oh, you know, Kyle. Like, I don't know. It's interesting they're keeping up. Maybe it's just good for business
Money.
and
Yeah.
yeah, money. And it always looks good that they're so civil, but I don't think they're that civil.
There's
And
a lot of reports that they're both really getting on each other's nerves, like in the media. Like, he's upset when he sees her. Like, look, even if you don't want, look, it's like that age old, like, you don't want the person, but you don't want them to want someone else, and you want them to want you. Right? I think it's that.
I love Kyle. I guess, you know, Kyle's never really gotten under my nerves. I've never, you know, sometimes I have these love-hate relationships with these housewives, but I do find something authentic about her. And the other thing is, you know, she said on this episode, she's leaving LA. Like, as soon as Portia is done high school, she's out, she's over it. And I mean, LA is a vibe, it's a scene. And especially the world they're in, you know, in Beverly Hills, in Bel Air,
It's a
in the
scene.
Hidden Hills. It's a scene. You know, Kathy is reportedly the queen that kind of, you know, makes or you breaks you. And now Jeff Bezos and Lawrence Sanchez, my new favorite power couple to follow, who are very tight with
They're
Miss
here
Jenna.
now.
Kris Jenner, they're there all the time. They're here all the time. And
Wow.
now they hang out with Chris, all the, you know, it's a billionaire scene. You know, that is the scene. So I'm sure, I think Kyle is over it. I think she's like, you know, what, like, I don't want to live like that, you know?
We learned that Kyle loves to shop. We learned that she would date a woman. And we learned that she's one of these three
Oh,
things is shocking, that she'll leave Beverly Hills. Now, I think she also needs to drop a footnote when this show is canceled and Housewives is over. It is going to end one day, guys. And Portia graduates. I'd like to see if Kyle leaves Beverly Hills when Portia graduates, if Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is still on the air. Maybe she'll leave and just come back and film for 2 months. Very easy to do, right? Or 4 months, whatever it is. I do want to touch upon your point of when Morgan is singing. And I mean, listen, I don't know if Kyle has gone downtown. I don't know if they're dating. I don't know what's going on. But I can tell you one thing: Kyle
oh,
Richards is madly, passionately, head over heels in love. I have feelings of butterflies. I am blown away by this woman, Morgan Wade. They have nothing in common. She is in love. I would agree with it. If anyone can watch this show and not agree with me, slip into my fucking DMs. I don't know if anything's happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't even care. But she's in love with her. She is literally just feeling the music and then feeding her the fruit. And just Dorit's eyes get really big when she feeds her the fruit. And she is just in love with this girl. In love.
in love. She is smitten with her. And, you know, I don't know. The more I go along in life, and I mean, this news story we'll talk about Todd Chrisley getting awarded $1 million. I always think, do I know anything? Do I really know anything about people? even when you read the headlines and stuff, we don't really know these people. I mean,
We don't.
I'm with you. I have no idea if they have dipped into the lady ponds or not. I couldn't even tell you. And obviously she and Mo have had troubles for a couple years now, much longer than we all knew or thought. And I don't know. It's so good. It was great to see the women just all put their armor down and support each other and have like a deep moment. And even like Dorit and PK at therapy. I mean, they kind of are almost a joke in some ways, but I just loved the whole episode actually was like fucking deep and real. It was like, great, thank God. Because some of these just episodes now are just so dumb, aren't they? They're just getting so stupid. Like,
I actually think Dorit and PK are good for each other. I think they have a good
yeah,
marriage.
me too.
I don't look, I have some issues. I don't understand where the money comes from. I've always said that about them. I'm saying it here. It's none of my business. I mean, although it is, it's actually my job. Actually, it's exactly my business. But
You know
I
what?
mean,
It is our business.
it
You know
is
what?
our business. It's how I afford this LA establishment that I look at the
We're gonna do some
wallpaper.
digging.
We're gonna do some digging, but I really like again, Mauricio and Kyle being over does not shock me. It didn't shock me when it happened. I heard these rumors about him diddling and daddling, men, women. I don't know. I don't care. But that's what I've heard for years over here on the streets of Beverly Hills. Dury and PK, I actually think they're kind of a good marriage, and I kind of think they're gonna make it. It wouldn't shock me if they didn't, but I would be more shocked about them breaking up than Kyle and Mo. They seem good together, those two.
Well, yeah, but we were all in shock about Kyle and Mo. I mean,
We were?
yes. Oh my God. I think, but I mean, I think that's the thing, like you said about Kyle, like realizing in life. I think Kyle has faked it, like she's gone along, she's played along, like probably for years. And, trouble doesn't happen in a marriage overnight. You always put on a good front as a married couple because you want to seem like everything's great, everything's great. And, once you have kids, so, to me, Kyle's been a great, she's kept up the facade. And so have
And
you for a long time.
his money for the agency wasn't this, but his money was agency money before her money was Beverly Hills money. I mean, Darling started at 60,000. I mean, so it really was Mauricio's money, and the agency is huge and bigger than ever. But even when the agency wasn't, it was still a lot more money. Now we have Kyle in, a million, 1.2, 1 point. Like Kyle's now in the seven figures with her job, which she wasn't. So it's like they've both done very well for himself. I think maybe the money and the reason to stay together, although he has way more, isn't really as much anymore.
I mean, money's always fascinating to me. I'm curious, like, I wonder a decade ago, 2 decades ago. Okay. So when they were 40, because she's 55, 56. I mean, did they just make average money, like 300 grand a year? Not that that's average, but that's like way above average. But
I
you know
think,
what I mean? Did they like, because
yeah,
he notoriously worked for Kathy's
I
husband,
think
for
there
Rick.
was a time when he made 300, 400, 500, started at
Oh,
250.
wait. Do we think they even made that? Because I mean, if you think about it, like,
A real estate
be
broker starting
depressed.
out.
Well, like 2 decades ago, we could have bought homes in Beverly Hills. Like, yes, it's always been expensive, but it hasn't. It's only been in the past like 8 years that it's gone like insane, right?